So, welcome everyone again to another installment of our family show. This is a family show, excuse the alcohol. But
Like mercy. Let me mute myself.
um but today we will be discussing episode 3 of season 11, Married at First Sight. In this episode, we see Bennett and Amelia get married. We left from their cliffhanger last week, and Snooze Fest and Snooze Fest, they get married as well. And we see they're interacting, and they have some entertaining things this episode. And then we just see some more compatibility, first dances, etc. with the other couples. So we're gonna get straight into Bennett and Amelia because that's where it starts out. I first want to ask, should I, now that you see that Bennett and Amelia knowing each other actually was a positive thing and they actually liked one another, are you relieved? Like, how do you feel?
I mean, I can't be relieved if I was never anxious in the first place. So,
Okay. Should I just be coming for me for Phil? Okay. Anyways, so I feel like they have a little bit of like an awkward chemistry. As they're at the altar, like remembering how they met, and they're both kind of like thinking about what's going through their brains. And I found a lot of this scene hilarious. So before I discuss what I think was funny, what does anyone else think was funny?
Hmm. One thing I found that was really interesting was the comments about how like he's more of an eccentric person, like he can feel the like he feels the energy and stuff of like inanimate objects. That was one thing that like kind of like made me crack up a little bit. Like it's kind of like it's like awkward, but it's like it's perfect for them because it's like they're both these like two quirky like a little like oddball like goofball like pairings. But also it makes me think about this whole idea that like everything we do and everywhere we go, we leave imprints of energy everywhere. So it's like one of those things where what may seem as quirky or kind of confusing to other people might just be like a form of like deep knowing or deep intuition with or being very present and grounded with the world, with nature and all that. So I think it shows that there's a very deep person under the surface of what most people might discard because it's not conventional.
I feel like Bennett is my soulmate that I didn't know I needed in my life. I feel like Bennett is very deep. Like he be talking in trash cans and stuff, so like we wouldn't get along in the everyday sense because I can't be talking in trash. But like the way he articulated himself when he was talking about like his vows. I was like, look at Billy with the deepness, and Amelia standing there with her mouth open because she can't believe they found somebody as weird as her. But the thing I did notice about them is that they were like some of the only two people who were like kind of making eye contact, like actually listening to what the other person was saying and trying to take it in. So I like that. But Benny was deep. I was like, go ahead, Benny. Benny read books.
All right, well, before I say my thoughts, I want to just say that you said you couldn't get along with Bennett with everything because he talked to trash cans. But your son laughed at walls, so we're not going to go there. But my thoughts on Bennett and Amelia.
We need a response. We need a response, okay? You can't come for Christopher and not have Sabrina respond.
Hey, at least he didn't throw out names.
But as far as Bennett and Amelia, number one, I think they cheated. Because they had met prior before, and I think that was really the big thing and the reason why I know Sabrina brought up that they were a lot more comfortable. They looked a lot more comfortable. They were, communicating better. They were making better eye contact, and they just seemed like they weren't as caught off guard because they weren't. They were kind of already in their element. They knew a little bit more what to expect, compared to everybody else who was kind of just like, what's going on here? I'm meeting this person for the first time, and like they're walking down the aisle. I think it takes away the aspect of the show because they cheated.
I wouldn't say they cheated. You can't say they cheated. They didn't know that they were gonna know each other. They just happened to know each other. It's like, for example, if I were to go out, maybe to like, say I went to a Paramore concert, and then I'm at the Paramore concert and I just meet someone who I think is really cool, maybe like as I'm walking out to my car going home. Then I meet them like 5 years later. Sure, okay,
You
we've
did not
met
say
before.
Paramore. I'm sorry, Sharif. All the artists in the world, you said Paramore, cut your life into pieces. This is my last resort. Like what?
That is not Paramore. Cut My Life into Pieces. This is my last resort is not a Paramore song. That's by Papa Roach.
Oh.
But Sharif, although I do hear what you're saying, that I mean, you can make the argument that it's not their fault, but at the same time, if
What do you
you're
mean you
assigned,
can make the
wait,
argument
wait,
it's not their
wait,
fault?
I
It
am
just
talking
isn't
here.
their fault.
I am talking. My mouth is moving. Words are coming out. You can wait until I finish, just as I let you finish. So,
I wasn't finished.
when
Lacey
you
cut
took too
me
long of
off.
a pause, now it's my turn. Back to what I was saying. If you go into the court of law and you are assigned an attorney, if that attorney notices that you are a person that they know in their personal lives, they have to turn the case over to a colleague. So when they saw each other and realized that they had met before, they should have terminated the wedding at that point.
Meeting someone does not equate to knowing someone. Again, I could bump into some random person. Let's not even take the concert. If I'm at the grocery store and I just bump into somebody while I'm looking at cucumbers or whatever, trying to make some tzatziki salad or whatever, and then we meet later in a totally different setting, we don't know each other. Just because I may have bumped into you at Kroger's or whatever, don't mean that we know each other. But also, I do want to say something that makes me think about the whole concept of soulmates. This whole idea of like people who are on Earth, possibly for people who maybe you've never met them physically, but you feel a deep sense of knowing. I think Amani, Woody, Bennett, and Amelia all kind of have that feeling with each other. Because one thing Amani said that I found interesting was that she said that she felt it was so strange that she was already so comfortable with Woody in this very short time. Which makes me think of the whole idea of like when you meet someone who's like quote unquote your person, your soulmate, whatever term you want to give it, then there's just already an inherent deep connectivity that you don't really need to build up. You just naturally bounce off each other. Plus, again, it goes back to what we were talking about last time, where these are two people who are bringing their authentic selves to the table. They're not trying to hide. They're not trying to get all disillusioned. They're not trying to like hold their cards back. One thing Bennett said that again goes back to what my sister Serena was saying about how he's more deep than he lets on. One thing he did say that I found that was very interesting was in his vows, he said there's no use in emotional strategy. And him
I
saying
wrote that down as well.
and him saying that there's no use in emotional strategy to
Same.
me says something. To me says I'm someone who feels like I don't have to plan this. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm just going along with it. I'm going to be myself. And if you can accept me at face value, you're not the person for me. And
So hold
luckily,
up, Sharif. I don't want to cut you off. I feel like you be talking paragraphs. So I want to ask Leilani, because we haven't heard from Leilani yet. So Leilani, do you feel like this connection that they have instantly is because they met before, or do you feel like they're just so similar that it's almost like fate bringing them back together in this space, in this moment?
Well, even Amelia had said when I think it was when they were dancing or something, but anyway, she was talking about how like in the little confessional type thing, she was talking about how it felt like it was like her like like the universe bringing them back together. It was the universe because, and I'm like they met for like 5 seconds at what was like a band performance or something.
At a party.
right, yes. They
At a
met at a
party.
Yeah.
party and they met twice. They did say they've met twice before. Once was at the party and once was at a once was at like a performance that the band was playing at through a mutual friend named Mary. They have met twice, but very briefly both times. And what
But you notice
Bennett
how they both remembered each other. That mean they
Yeah.
had that. Oh,
Well,
oh, they cute.
But
I
from
see you. I can
from the
see
way
you.
from the way they were talking about it, it seemed it was more like a the one who got away situation. Where it's like you meet someone who's cute.
Exactly. So if it's the one that got away situation, and now the one who got away, you're marrying at first sight, I don't feel like that means that they're any less authentic, or they're not going to treat the situation or the opportunity any less than. I think that is an advantage, but I wouldn't be like Shamar, like it's cheating, like some performance enhancement drugs. Like it's not that deep.
and I
Pause.
feel like they would still
And
be
my
like
child gonna be
super.
staring at wall for that long.
They would still mesh together really well, even if they hadn't met before. Like I think, like the second she came down, her bridesmaid came down that aisle with all them veils and the purple and the pink and the blue, he was so amused. He was amazed.
All right. Back to what Lacey said. Lacey said married at first sight, but as Sharif just told us, is the third sight. Um, that's why I said they're cheating. I do not deny that they are perfect for each other, but in a different setting, not on this show.
So let
But
me
I
ask you
think,
this.
Hold up, Sharif. Let Sabrina make a comment.
but I think it's one of those things where when you're dealing with trying to match up people, and you're in a city with people who like are in that like kind of quirky. They're trying to find people that are as quirky as each other. They might have run in the same circles, and just because I run in the same circle as you and I notice you, doesn't mean, like Sharif was saying, that doesn't mean that they actually know each other. Meeting somebody and actually marrying somebody is different. I do think that they may have not come together had it not been for the show, because they don't seem like the type of people that's just gonna like fall into like, hey, what's your number type of situations. So I get what you're saying, that the premise of the show, but also I just think that you have to kind of go with it, because at that point you've tried to do your research to match strangers, and what you go start the process again, and you didn't already pay for the dress. Go.
And plus, what I would say, just to piggyback off my sister, what I would say is that I think that sure you can make the argument that the premise of the show, that's not what it's about, what's supposed to happen. But that'd be the same thing as like, say it was The Bachelor. If you feel like you really, really found somebody within the first couple weeks that you know is your end game, why go through all the pretenses? Why still go through the rest of the show if you know for sure like my decision's made, I'm not swaying. I feel like that's where they're at. Why would they delay this and try to restart over, go pick it back up somewhere else, when really they could just go along with it? Because again, not everything has to be perfect, but I feel like they are as close to perfect for each other that we can see at least right now as possible. Why would you pass that up? Rules of the show be darned. Why would you pass that up?
Turn on your microphone.
Let's go back to him talking about how emotional strategy isn't needed. I thought that was like such a beautiful part of his vows, because as someone who's dating, you always are kind of like, okay, should I do this? Should I do this? Is this too much? Am I doing too much here? Am I not being open enough? Am I being too open? Am I showing too many of my cards? It's like all these little games you play in your own head. So I love how Ben is like, we already married. We, like Sabrina was saying last episode, we gonna act like we married. We gonna put forth the effort as married people, and I don't have to hold back from you. You're my wife, and we're gonna make it work. So Shaddai, what do you feel about like Bennett's vows, Amelia's vows, like this the wedding portion of all that?
Yeah, I think Ben's styles were really nice, and that he was really like forward, like he was like open to the process. I think he's like one of the most prepared people for the show, like out of all of the, I guess, contestants or participants of the show. Like he's gonna put himself like fully out there, and like he really doesn't care like, and it ends up being bad for him because he knows what the good could come from doing that.
Do you have anything to add, Nani?
No, I think he got it. But I just want to say, whatever Sabrina is eating looks very good.
What you eating?
It's
Some
that when stop. I was hungry. I ain't ate all day. Like I can't, I can be professional for only so long, and then I'm hungry. I'm like, what's that, Brett? If she get a little bit angry, feed her, take her for a walk.
So Sabrina is Brett without the flirting with other men at the bachelorette party. Okay, so I have a question again about them. I thought it was super cute, like once they already got married and they were like debriefing and kind of like talking how they were recounting how they met, and they were both like, oh, we met here, and they both were just like laughing about it and just how interested they were still in like learning more things about each other. So what is most exciting to you guys? Because we feel like, I feel like we're all stands of them. What is most exciting to you guys about this match?
Even when they were doing their little first dance, like other first dances were like more awkward, less, but they were really asking about the birthdays or like birth years or whatever, she asked him like his favorite ice cream. Like they were taking that time to even when they were dancing to get to know each other. Also, they was real close.
And to piggyback off what you just said, Leilani, one thing
If
that
you
I
say
also found,
piggyback one more time, like I'm really gonna lose my mind.
And we need 2 to 3 sentences responses, less analogies.
well, now I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, well then I'll hop on the tracks. So with Bennett and Amelia, I like when they were taking the wedding photos because they just looked, like so like filled with emotion. Everybody else was kind of like awkward, didn't know how to pose, didn't know how to stand, and they were just like, let's take these pictures and have a good time.
And her, what was it, her niece or something called him Uncle Bennett. That was so cute.
I brought the flower. I'm sorry for screaming. I'm so sorry. That was a lot, but that made my heart smile.
I was like, oh. And the way
It did not make my heart
with
smile
her.
at all. You don't understand. Where you running? Where you going? Calm down.
But I thought it was cute how he was with her. Like she came up to him and he was all for it. He was like picking her up and stuff. He was not scared at all. He was not scared off at all.
I think that made the quirky mama who don't like nobody for her son like him more. Because the mama was lightweight shady. She was like, congratulations. What's your name? This is demented. Congratulations.
Oh, you mean Amelia's mom?
No, Bennett's mom.
She said that it was demented? I thought that was Amelia's mom. Maybe I'm confused.
But yeah, when they were doing the toast, it was like I love how when everyone did the toast for Amelia and Bennett, they were like, I hope they're as weird as you. And they're like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, they all. Oh, I forgot to ask this question. Okay, so am I the only person who felt like if Amelia's vows were not said by Amelia, that they would have been the most cringy, annoying vows in the history of all weddings? So I'm the only one who thinks that?
I honestly do not remember.
Who thinks what?
Amelia said like a poem, and it was like, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm so glad I met a stranger like you. You are so cute. I can't wait to live. Like, it was just cringe, but it was so
It's very cheesy.
It's like I liked it because it's completely her personality, but coming after Bennett, she looked real dumb. Like, because Bennett was like real, like I'm going to affirm you. I'm going to show love no matter what. I'm bringing my whole self to this, and she was like, "You a good fella," and I was like,
Yeah, like I almost spit out my wine when you was like, after Bennett, it was horrible because that's how I felt.
Okay, but Bennett, when he was up there saying his vows, he was low key spitting. Like he had the like nice little rhyme scheme going. No, it wasn't. Um, and so I was just like, all right, I can get behind that one. He was cool with it.
So let's talk more. I want to talk more about Sabrina's stance on the Uncle Ben situation because I thought it was so cute, but I also kind of see like why is she so comfortable jumping into like this strange man's arms and just like what is her family not teaching her about predators and people that can be out there doing crazy things. So can you talk a little bit more about that, Sabrina? Why you didn't like that scene?
okay, so I was a little bit judgmental about it just because of what you said, but now that I'm thinking about it, he didn't approach her. She felt comfortable, and I also do believe in children having autonomy over their own bodies. So if she felt comfortable running up to him and giving him a hug, I feel like the way he reciprocated it was perfectly perfect, and it wasn't too much, and it was cute. So I changed my mind.
Yeah, I see what you mean because like I feel like you should never like tell a kid like, oh, go hug him. This is your Uncle Ben. She's like, I don't know this man. You just met him, and I really just met him, so I'm not doing nothing, okay? But I definitely feel like she had the choice. She wanted to hug him, and she was excited. And you get to see how much she loves Amelia. Like, I can't wait to dance with you. Like, I can't wait. Like, and I feel like it reflects a lot about Amelia's like spirit and like who she is as a person that like her niece loves her so much and is just so happy to be around her and anything associated with her.
I also think that it was very telling of Amelia's personality because her niece, and I know the stupid stuff like this, but her niece jumped up and like Amelia like let the niece put her feet on the dress. She wasn't like very particular about like, oh, I don't want to get my dress. She was like all about having fun and being in the moment, and it just is what it is. And she like everybody was just in the moment, and I feel like her and Bennett were like, yes, we're strangers, but we're still talking through the whole process as if nobody else is in the room. Like, you like peanut butter, I like jelly. Okay, you were born what year? 92, late part, early part. Like stuff that I'd be like, Chad, what are they talking about?
That was so cute.
So cute.
Late 1992, 1993 in the middle. Oh, they're just so adorable. I just love them. And I feel like we need to get our black card revoked because I hecka noticed that they broke the glass at the end of their vows, but I don't remember whether or not Woody and Amani or Karen and Miles jumped the broom. I have no recollection.
One of them did. I can't remember who, but one of them did.
Amani and Woody jumped
And
the
what he did.
broom. It was very cute. Look at my child looking super
Hey,
cute.
look at Stefan. Stefan in the chat. Okay, does anyone does anyone like let's talk a little bit about that. Does anyone feel like you would want to jump the broom or you would not want to jump the broom? Like, what do you think about that?
Personally, I'm gonna leave that up to her. I don't care either way.
He ain't marrying a
I'm not
black
really a
woman, so
big
they
like.
can't jump the broom.
I'm not really a big wedding guy. I feel like weddings are low key overrated. I feel like you can use that money for something else. But that's just me, you know. If I get married and she wants to have a wedding, we'll make it happen. But at the end of the day, like I feel like we can use that money for something more practical.
Shamar is marrying a Latina, so he won't be jumping no brooms because that's a part of Black people culture.
Not a one. No broom will be in sight.
What do you think, Shadai? Do you feel like you like that they jumped the broom? I don't remember which one. So they're saying y'all are saying one couple did and one couple didn't of the Black couples. Would you feel like you would do it?
I'm very with Shamar on this point about like literally everything he said. Like weddings are like really overrated, and like or no, I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna go there. But weddings are overrated, so I really won't probably have too much say at my wedding, and I probably won't care at all. And then I'm like, we're just gonna do whatever, and yeah, I'm gonna just show up and be there. Okay.
Okay, so me personally, I love the jumping of the broom. I think it's beautiful. I think it really ties in like tradition of our ancestors and what they did. Ooh, the ghetto.
Oh, child.
So you were saying about our ancestors and tradition.
Sharif, would you jump the broom? Like, let's just move on from that. Would you jump the broom, Sharif?
I'll be honest, I don't really exactly know why it's done. And I don't like to do things just because they're traditional. I like to do things with purpose. So I'd have to do more research on to why that tradition started in the first place, what it really
So
represents.
let me educate you. So slaves were not allowed to get married with like
Right?
a
The
legal
enslaved were.
document. So the way that they expressed their commitment for one another, that they were going to be together, where they jumped a broom. That was them saying we're getting married. So that's really literally all it is. So by jumping the broom, it's like paying homage and respect to your ancestors. I feel.
I mean, I like brooms. I like jumping. Don't see why we can't combine the two.
Sharif, I'm done with you. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on past that because clearly no one else wants to have a black conversation. Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about Christina when she was getting ready. So when Christina was getting ready, I actually liked her for like 2.5 seconds. I felt like she was open, she was excited. I felt like she had a nice personality. My opinion changed like 5 minutes later, but during when she was getting ready, she seemed really nice. Am I the only one who got that vibe?
She looked immaculate. I mean, the hair, the dress, the veil.
I'm still saying the fact that when Henry was trying to talk to her, she's like, "I forgot my earrings, mom. Mom, I forgot Can you bring me?" Like he was trying to talk to her, and she's over here talking about her earrings. But she did look really pretty.
Yeah, she
As
looked
Sharif will say,
amazing.
beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns.
Yeah, she definitely looked immaculate. The beading work on her dress was gorgeous. I love the see-through bodice in the middle. I used to love watching Say It's the Dress. It looked very Panina Tournay. It was like a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous dress. But her personality, once she stopped getting ready and once she left the room, she is just evil, self-centered, and rude. Like she is rude. And I don't know how she had no friends because she rude. And her friends talking about how she's loving and caring and she to surround herself from good people. They lied because she is the devil. Okay, she is rude. Am I the only one who got that?
Okay, well, let me piggyback on that because I have two sisters who are not on this call who are both rude. We're not gonna say no names, but they are rude, but they can have
My sisters are not rude. Okay, my sisters are
you're
assertive.
rude, but they can have that personality change where they're just nice people to get along with, but deep, not even deep. It's on the surface, right there on top. You can see the rude. even when they being nice, you can tell that the rude is right there waiting to come out. And with Christina, I feel like she's, blunt, very to the point. The whole time she was sitting there, even though she didn't know the boy's name, called him Luke. But the whole time she was sitting there, just saying what she felt she deserved and what she wanted. Christina knows what she wants, and she's not gonna settle for anything less. I don't see why that's a problem. Maybe the way she presents it is a problem, but the overall of what she's doing is just, like I said, her knowing what she wants and going after it.
So let me clarify what I mean by rude, because what you're saying, Shamar, I agree with. Like, knowing what you want and being direct and assertive about it. That's what you should do, and no one should demean someone for doing that. I thought she was rude because she's like, "Mom, why are you touching me like that?" And the producer's like, "I need another confessional." And she's like, "Well, I'm not gonna move from this spot." So to her bridesmaids, "So y'all better move because I'm not moving. Can we hurry up and get this over with because I'm ready to go?" Like, her attitude was just stank. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, her overall demeanor before
Her
she
aura.
marched down the aisle was stank.
I
Okay, now I
wholeheartedly
see it.
agree. I wholeheartedly agree with Lacey. She looked like she didn't want, when she was even doing a little diary cam thing, she didn't look like she wanted to be there.
Right,
Like
exactly.
she was rolling her eyes through it. It was like 3 seconds, and then it's like she kind of just like, well, let's get this over with. She had that look like, I'm not getting paid enough for this on her face.
I have a question. Did anyone else feel sympathy for her when she was saying that the only person that ever gave her flowers was her dad?
I tried to
Well,
until I saw her actions. Until I saw the way she was acting, I was like, I can see why nobody gave you flowers. You rude. You not nice. You gotta be nice to get flowers, ma'am. She was talking about how she don't have no strong relation. She don't have a strong man in her life. She don't have no healthy father figure, nothing. The only person who like did a nice thing for her was her grandpa. I can see why.
Sabrina, I need you to like get it together. You over there dying, okay? Sabrina, how are you feeling right now? I want to just check in on you.
I have no room to speak on Christina's behavior because I am the worst. And I can so imagine me being like, look, I was ready 35 minutes ago. I ain't moving, so y'all gonna have to move around. So I relate to Christina on a deep level. Like,
let's talk about Sabrina on her wedding day and the panic attack she had in the vestibule of the church.
Yeah, I think I need to see more from Christina. I feel like, weddings are stressful. I've seen enough episodes of Bridezillas to know that. And so I'm going to just say I need to see more from her before I make my decision on whether or not I think she's just a mean person.
Like, when I was watching it, I was like, ooh, she rude. But then, like, I was like, I could kind of relate to this. So am I too rude? Am I also not a nice person?
Shamar, all his sisters is rude, okay?
I mean,
Shamar,
I am very nice. I am extremely nice.
No, only 3 out of the 5 are rude.
I could see somebody perception. Like, I feel like if I was being filmed in or on my wedding day, nobody in America would like me, and that'd be fine. And I have to be on this podcast defending myself with my family. Look, I am a nice person. I give to St. Jude's, okay?
Not St. Jude.
See, 4 out of my 5 sisters are rude. Y'all may be nice to me because who wouldn't be? But you guys are rude overall.
I want to know which one is excluded from the 4 out of 5, and why are the rest of the 4 rude?
Okay, Leilani,
he already said it was me.
Excluded, obviously. And the rest of the 4, T said that one is self-explanatory. I don't need to put no details on that one. Mama, be quiet.
You leave my sister alone. You leave Tisha out of
Tisha
this.
is not here to defend herself.
Then
That's my evil lean.
Lorraine
Mama! You can't say that.
Lorraine is short tempered like me. I'm rude too. I tell anybody in a heartbeat I'm rude. I know it. But so that's why Lorraine's rude, because she let her temper get the best of her a lot of times, and she get real irritated real quick and real easy.
She's
Sabrina,
not rude. She's just anxious.
Sabrina don't get enough sleep, so I think she's just always tired, and so she let
Now
that
she hungry.
and so she lets that get the best of her, and sometimes she probably just come off as being a lot more rude than she would like to be.
Before
And
you
now,
before you go to me, I want Sabrina to get a chance to respond. Okay.
First and foremost, I think that I am a lot better now. But it took me a long time to realize the way I think it in my brain. I have to say it in a different way because I don't mean to be rude. It just comes off rude.
See, I
So
can
instead
do
of
some
saying, "Can
very
you
rude
move?"
things.
I gotta be like, "Can you move, please?" like, or like, I don't know. And I also do think my anxiety plays a part because I'm a very much when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. When I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do this. So I relate to Christina on that because she probably was like, okay, I've been standing here ready to walk down this aisle to meet this stranger for like however long, and I'm ready to go. And I don't want to answer no more questions.
we lost Sabrina for a little bit, so I will now move on to Lacey while Lacey is rude. And Lacey is the sneaky rude because you don't even know she's being rude when she's being rude. You realize it after the fact. Lacey, Lacey will is manipulative. She make you do something and think it was your idea, and that is rude. Okay.
That's not rude. That's called superior intellect. If I could get someone to do something for me and make them think that they wanted to do it, that's intellect. That's not being rude. That's being smart. Okay. Don't play me.
Not rude.
So those are my personal opinions on why 4 out of my 5 sisters are rude. Maybe Leilani will be rude one day. She just hasn't grown into it. I don't know. But we got
Listen, I can think rude things, but I ain't gonna say them because I I feel bad saying stuff like that.
So moving on, since he just tried to read us all, except for Leilani,
Why you
got
gotta
us
be
favorite.
so rude?
But I think Shadai had a comment because he went to open his lips and then he closed them. So I just want to make sure we don't skip over Shadai's opinion.
Oh, we're talking about how you have superior intellect, but you don't know how to spell chipmunk. So that was my only comment.
Whatever. It's called
Valid assessment. Valid assessment.
I have superior intellect that have nothing to do with knowing how to spell, okay? They are not mutually exclusive things.
Ooh. We
Okay.
talked about Henry's friends.
Yes, Alana, you start the conversation. Go ahead.
Oh, that was irritating me. They so judgmental, and like I mean, I know that we be judgmental, but that's beside the point. They was they were just like, I don't know, like why she doing this? She desperate, all this and that. Like, I thought I was like, wow, they really going in on her.
They coiled her. They were on her case.
They were on her head, Stefan.
Yes.
What I don't understand is why they're on her head so hard. Like they don't accept her, they don't like her. But clearly none of them want to be with him because they're all his ex-girlfriends.
No, only Trishelle went on a date with him, and I feel like that Henry's personality just is a slow burner. He just be chilling because when Trishelle started getting on his nerves, he scooped up his little angry wife and was like, "Y'all, come on, she good." And like he just seemed like he just he seems shady. I feel like he seemed like Shaddai, who be saying stuff under his breath, and you be like, he's so quiet, and he's so nice, and Shaddai be like, don't like you at all. It's like,
Shadai, do you care to comment on that assessment?
Haters gonna hate. That's all I gotta say.
I kind of feel like Henry is just trying to avoid conflict. I feel like he just doesn't want to have any issues, so he's kind of just like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure we don't have no problems. Everybody's cool, calm, collected, peacekeeper type dude. Everything is all nice, and he, like I said, he just don't want no problems. He's just a mellow, go with the flow type dude.
And I avoid conflict like the plagues.
So when Henry's friends have their like little interview, and one of the friends was talking about how like she respected like the marriage, but she didn't respect like the relationship.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, somebody educate me because I didn't know either.
Wait, what did Sabrina say?
I said it means she was very drunk. She don't know those two things are the same thing. Like, she was very dumb.
I
And her friend was trying to placate her too.
I respect, like, I'm gonna respect the marriage, but I'm not gonna respect the relationship. They wanted the same girl. You can't they the same thing. What's not clicking? I feel like she wants him, low key. That's just my vibe I'm getting right now. That like, I hate to say this, but I feel like he has too many female friends around him. I feel like they just don't like her because I feel like at least one of them wants to be with him.
Trisha,
I think he has like a couple of them. I think he a couple of them's backup plan in case like whatever they doing now don't work out, and they mad that he went ahead and got married because they was like, okay, if it don't work out with this dude, I'm just gonna go be with Henry because Henry pay the bills, Henry go to work, Henry like chips, he don't want no problems. He just be chilling.
Henry is a friend. Henry is a friend. Like, if we're both 40 and unmarried, we're getting married. That's Henry.
What'd you say, Leilani?
I said Henry is a friend that you make a deal with. Like, if we're both this age and unmarried, we're getting married. That is
exactly. And I feel like all of them are single, and they have this attachment, like Sabrina said, to this fantasy of, well, Henry ain't got nobody, I ain't got nobody. We just gonna figure it out one day and move to Montana. And now that he done got married, they once upon a time maybe woulda, shoulda, coulda is now out the window, and they salty and trying to be rude to old girl about it, even though she boring and annoying and get on my nerves.
Well, as a guy, number one, he's 34. So if they was trying to do something, they took way too long. And that's on them. Also, I'm a firm believer that men and women cannot have platonic friendships. That's just me though,
Who is crunching in the background? What is that sound? It sounds like some bubble wrap.
Oh, my bad. I just got my computer came in. I was opening it.
so it was bubble wrap. Ooh, I think
why?
I disagree that men and women in general can't be friends. They definitely can. I just think they can't be friends. I feel like you have to be very emotionally aware, very emotionally intelligent, very mature to be able to have friends like that because of just the complications. But I don't think it's impossible. I just think it doesn't work for the dynamics they both have because they both want different things.
I feel like in my experience, and since I'm the oldest, I've had the most experience. Well, oldest on this chat. I have never been able to have a male friend. And that's on
just admitted that she's old.
Look, nobody talking to him. Anyway,
I feel like having male friends is. I feel like women can be friends. Like that's how I feel. Like, then again, I'm 15, so you know.
Yeah, you're 15.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like it's possible. Like it's just it's a friendship.
In my experience. It's never in the history of happened to me. Because everybody I thought was my friend, at some point in time, it crossed the boundary where I was like, oh, I thought we was friends, and they, or maybe I'm just dumb and I don't notice people flirting, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what that was, Sabrina. Maybe you're a little oblivious.
I kind of agree with that though, because not in that you can't have friends, but I feel like for me, I either have acquaintances or I have like family. Like I have men in my life that are not my blood relatives, but they are my family. And I know like if I really needed them, they would show up for me. Like they're like my brothers. But I feel like an acquaintance is a guy that I kind of just know, that we kind of been around each other, and maybe they want other things and they haven't expressed that, and they're speaking to me because they want other things, even though they haven't expressed that. But then once we get to a friend level, it becomes like murky waters, and you got to get past that friend level and get to a family level sometimes, so that you don't have that gray area. So I kind of see what she's saying.
And the way I feel about it is like if I'm gonna be in a relationship, which no time soon, so don't try get all bent out of shape. But if I'm gonna be in a relationship, I would probably have to be friends first because I can't see somebody coming up to me someplace and just start flirting with me immediately. That seems weird to me. I don't know.
You ain't never had no fine man that you thought was the cat's meow come and talk to you.
I hope not. I'm 15.
Well, I'm just saying, because with a fine man that is like, ooh, I mean, he can tell you the sky is blue and I think that you are purple, and you can be like, oh, for real? Because he's
Don't listen to Lacey. Next, what's the next subject? Can we move this along? The next subject, who else is in the show? Like, let's see.
Can we go
Who
over?
can we talk about?
Can we go over Woodrow?
Woodrow.
Screen reader called wholesome.
Go ahead, Shamar.
But should I? What do you have to say about Woody in episode 3 since Shamar brought it up?
I mean, he's kind of doing what he does. He makes people very comfortable. That's why he's the life of the party, because he just gets everyone involved, and so like the party's better when he's there. It's like he's very good at making people comfortable, like telling people what they want to hear.
I like the part where he went up to the table with the dads, though. I feel like he is very respectful in like that old school way where he thanked them even though they didn't really have a say, but he still like gave them their respect, and also was very honest with them. Like, I don't have a dad, so it's different coming into a family where there's like two male figures, and they made it very clear that she is precious to them, and I think that was good for him to hear too. Like, she's not coming from this family where she got daddy issues. She coming from this family where she got two strong male figures, and we are here for you. We very supportive, but don't play with us. But we like you. Don't play with us.
But I thought, oh,
All right.
go Shamar.
Okay. Cool. So with Woody, I like how him and Amani were just able to like vibe. Like they seemed at first it was a little awkward, and I was like surprised just because of Woody's personality that it started out so awkward. Because to me, it just looked forced, and it wasn't until they were sitting at the reception, where I really kind of saw that they were starting to be a little more genuine. I don't know if Amani was like trying to hide, something, or she was, afraid of being her or what it was. But it's just like it seemed forced.
I feel like Amani is very herself. I feel like her personality is just more like toned down. I feel like she's still open to have fun. She still like is like welcoming, and she still it wants the process to work. I just feel like she talks about it in a more toned down manner. And because Woody is so extroverted, so like love, we want to love, like the whole episode he's just super like high energy, you probably feel like, oh, maybe Amani is not as much into it, but the way she expresses it is just a little bit different. Do you agree, Sabrina?
Yeah, and I think the way that I think it was like when she said, I don't know if it was this episode or a past episode where she was like, he kind of centers her and like makes his movements around her, feeling comfortable. Like even in the pictures, he was fixing her dress to make sure she looked nice in the pictures, which I appreciate, because I am who I am. But
Superficial.
but Lacey can't talk. But anyway, so I like that the more he made her comfortable, the more she opened up. But I also like that she called him out like every single time, like, oh, you doing a lot of this, and she answered, genuinely with every question he asked. But I do like the fact that he stated something like, let's get to the hard questions, let's get to this, let's get to that, because everybody seemed like he just there for fun, but he's like, okay, let's do it. Let's do this marriage thing. I'm ready. Ask me whatever. And I feel like he one of them dudes you could really ask him whatever and he'll tell you the truth. Like, how you feel? And he'll tell you, oh, I'm not feeling it today.
What you think over there, shoulder shrug with Lonnie?
Huh?
See you over there, shoulder shrugging, with your luscious hair that we don't have.
It's hot. I had to tap my hair. But yeah, I feel like Woody just makes people comfortable, and I feel like Amani's really seeing that from him. That he's really trying to make her comfortable, trying to make sure that she's good, and still have fun, and make sure that they're both, they both chilling. They both and they do definitely vibe very well.
What was the question about Amani specifically?
What do you think about her interactions with Woody? And what do you think about them together as a couple, and like the conversations that she had with his family and the conversations he had with her family?
They're very similar in that respect, in my opinion, to Ben and Amelia, in the sense that they're both very comfortable already. It felt like they were actually already families. Like it was two families that like had already just like kind of not to know how to flow in. I really thought it was very sweet when Woody went up to like Amani's father and stepfather, and they like had openly like already like embraced him as like a member of their family. He's like, well, I don't really have a good relationship with my father right now, so it's nice that I have not one but two fathers I can go talk to, and that are gonna help me with this path. I really thought it was just wonderful how Amani was just like openly like joking and cracking up, laughing with his friends and his family, because it really shows that she feels cemented. I like the little rapport they had with his friend, where she was like, "Should I put you on?" He was like, "Should I put you on the plus one list?" He was like, "Do you know your wife?" And then like they were just able to like have that little like nice moment together. So I really think they're going to be very good for each other, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. I think they're definitely on the path to staying together, in my opinion.
Does anybody, I know this is off topic, but does anybody else think that Woody's family is Kojic? Because his grandma looked very Kojic to me.
Yep. Yep.
Well, they are in New Orleans, so either you probably Kojic or you be doing voodoo. There's like one or the other.
Because she had that little hat wrap. I said, go ahead, First Lady. She came in there. And all I got to say is, Mama better be careful with how many times she say something about Woody, because Grandma go cut everybody.
She was not playing with, like, in previous episodes, but Grandma was like, I've seen the devil come out of him. And Grandma was like, not my baby. She was ready to fight her own child. Okay, should I? So let's talk a little bit about just like we already touched on 3 couples. Let's talk a little bit about Olivia and Brett in this episode and Brett's embarrassing family.
Olivia kind of took like a moment to like take in when she was like, he was like, oh, if he's making fun of you, he probably really doesn't mean it, or that. She was like, that's interesting, but I guess so. But she kind of like went along with it. but I think like in the back of the mind, she's like, I don't know, this might be a problem.
Yeah, I feel like Olivia's kind of a people pleaser. And I feel like she's not fully comfortable with the way that his family is. But she just wants to be happy so bad and she wants the relationship to work. So she's like, oh, like, it is what it is.
Go ahead, Lonnie. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, speaking of family members, best family members, they're a little annoying, but we probably a little annoying to some outside perspectives. So I can't really say much on that. But I will say that Harry's dad, his toast was funny. He made the way.
Henry's dad is the only thing worth watching in the whole interaction between Henry and Christina because Henry's dad is comedy.
He's so funny, bro. Go ahead, Shamar.
Yes. Okay. So back to Olivia and Brett. They just irritate me. Like I don't. Every time they're on screen, I just want to stop watching. I don't know what it is about them. They give me a bad like feeling, a bad like aura. They're just like I don't like them. You know those people like you don't like and you can't really explain why. You just don't like them. That's Olivia and Brett for me.
What were you gonna say, Sabrina?
I was gonna say everything that Shamar was gonna say, but then I was also gonna add in the fact that Brett is not funny. His family is not funny. They think they real funny, and the fact that any of his brothers thinks that they would swipe on Olivia. And I like that the producers were so shady that when they said it, they did a close up of all of their faces because no, you're not swiping on Olivia because look at y'all. Y'all play too much and the reason y'all rag on Brett so much is because he's the best looking out of all of y'all, and y'all mad that he actually took some time to work on his fitness and that he is physically fit and as unattractive as I think he is, which I didn't mean to say that like that, but as unattractive as I think he is, he still can get more girls than all of y'all put together. But because he grew up in y'all family and y'all always ragging on him, he has low self esteem. So now he got to feel like he got to prove something. And his ex cheated on him. So also that plays into a part. I think Brett needs therapy. And I also think that his family don't like him for real. So like he be putting on for the city and I don't like him because you're not about to put on when Olivia's sweet self just sitting there being authentic and nice and sweet and you not taking the process seriously, you saying dumb stuff to her friends, she's trying to not be rude to your rude family, she's putting herself out there and y'all just taking it as a joke and cracking jokes at her expense, which I also think is rude when they was at that little talking about how does it feel going to bed with a stranger? All I go to bed with is strangers. Like, shut up. Just shut up. You
Yeah,
go
no,
to
Brett's
bed with strangers, don't know why.
trash.
Like, sit like
Like,
you.
even didn't his parents not want to come because they didn't want to be taped? And then all his siblings, his brothers is annoying, and ooh.
Yeah, that's why like I get the comparison between like Brett's family and our family, but I don't get like we are not malicious. Like we might crack jokes, we might be funny, we have our own little sense of humor, but I feel like they're just overall
But we
negative. Do you agree, Shadai? Because you were the original person who said that you felt like Brett's family was like our family.
I never wait. I ain't never said that. So I don't know who you think you talking about. Maybe that was Sam. Maybe that was someone else. That was not me. Not me.
Well, I'm sorry, but you ain't spoke in like an hour. So do you have anything to say?
What do you mean? I just spoke about Brett. I think I started Brett on Olivia or something like that. I said that Olivia was not comfortable with Brett's family cracking jokes, and she acted to be fine about it, but she's not really fine about it. That's what I said earlier. Remember?
Okay, I'm sorry. That is what you said. Okay, Mr. Savage, you are excused. Okay, Shamar.
We on Karen and Miles now.
Before we move on, let's ask Lonnie and Stefan if they have any comments on
Brett and Olivia.
Brett and Olivia.
Bet.
You got anything, phone?
Well, I know Olivia said that like when they were talking to each other, she was saying that he was checking a lot of boxes.
I don't know what boxes, but no, let me.
The only box is they have cats.
That's the box. That's the box.
The only box is the cats.
They really was up on the altar so gassed about these cats.
All right, so I think that means
Wait, stop on. Say it again. Say it
They
again.
said that maybe that 5 for 5 chalupa box at Taco Bell.
5 for 5 chalupa box. What does that have to do with anything?
Because they both like Taco Bell.
They was talking about Taco Bell at the altar too. They was talking about how they like
That was
Taco Bell.
Olivia grasping at them straws. You like Taco Bell?
Olivia just wants anything, bro. She just is excited and happy. And she's like, oh, Taco Bell cats, we good to go.
And her talking about that Lil Wayne concert she went to. Yeah, no, that was like the best experience. I'm sorry. I can't take her seriously anytime she talks about that.
Can I just say something real quick about Olivia and Brett?
Oh, you came
One
from
thing-
the shadows. Welcome back, Sharif.
What? I'm sorry. I just had to get my thoughts together because I was just really enjoying the dialogue. But one thing I remember when they was like grilling each other's families and whatnot, like the parents and like whatnot. One thing that I caught on that I didn't get or like was when they asked Brett why he thought that like his past relationship didn't work and he didn't have an answer. I was like, so you don't know why you like what you've done wrong? You don't have any sort of self-awareness of what's going on? Like that's concerning to me. Like that's a red flag in my opinion.
Brett as a whole is a red flag. Okay.
Emotional maturity on 0.
On -3. Okay, Shamar, are you ready to start the conversation about our last couple?
Yes, ma'am. All right. So we're gonna start off with Miles because I don't like black women. So we're not gonna talk about.
Wow! So you just admitted it, but you got 5 black sisters. Okay, I see how you feel.
So because I don't like black women, we're gonna talk strictly about Miles. And I like how Miles, when Karen's mother was
At least
talking
you
to
have
him
self-awareness.
and asking
And
him,
like Brett.
he was like, so she was just asking like what his intentions were, and he was just like real honest, just real like himself. Like, what I really don't exactly know what I'm looking for, but I know whatever this is gonna be, I'm gonna do what I can to make it work, and I'm here for the long haul. He was just there like being genuine, and that was one thing that I really took notice of.
Yeah.
But what kind of question is, what are your intentions? You act like you'll say, oh, yeah, I'm going to cheat on her. I have all these plans. I'm going to do this and this and this. What are you going to say except for I plan to treat her right? Like,
But Miles was real specific. He didn't. I feel like it's a dumb question because obviously his intentions are to get married. Because I mean, he married her. But I wrote it down because I was like, he had me on the Bennett hive. Because when Bennett said his vows, I was like, yeah, he deep. But Miles said, in the spur of the moment, mind you, not in no written vows, he was like, I want to make sure she feels heard, she feels seen, she feels comfortable, happy. Like, those are all things that somebody wants. But also, I wish that Karen was open enough to receive that and notice that because that's a lot to make somebody feel heard because you can listen to somebody, but to actually make somebody feel like you understand where they're coming from and that you take that into consideration. And I think that especially going up to the mama who was not about that life, when she was like, I don't like it. I'm just so he on the spur of the moment in a situation that's very probably uncomfortable was able to actually come up with stuff that makes sense. And I was like, go ahead, Miles.
Okay, so let's talk about when he first saw her. Miles was saying that all day his heart was pounding But like once he saw her, he kind of just like felt a little bit relaxed.
And that's adorable. That I love that.
Right. He
I
said that she
mean,
had
did you
calming
see
energy,
Karen?
right?
Karen is fly, okay? Karen is gorgeous. Karen is bomb. So the initial like fear is like, what if I don't even think she cute? Because if I don't think she cute, all the other things might be a little bit more difficult to work through. But she fine. That's probably where the relief came from, because Karen's a baddie. Sorry, Sharif.
No. Don't worry about it. I was gonna say because he said that like a calm, peaceful setting settled over him, and I feel like that's really just like good, especially when a situation like this. It's nice to know that like you still feel good about the decision you're making. I feel like again back to like really quickly back to Livy and Brett. They don't really feel sure about the situation. Christina and I almost called him Kevin again. His name's Henry. My bad. Christina and Henry. They don't really feel like they fully into it either. But it's like he's at least really thinking like, you know what? I'm ready.
Christina don't know his name. Sharif don't know his name. Don't know that poor man name.
No wonder why they're so bored. Can't even remember their names.
But I did like when Karen and Miles were talking, and Miles had said that he knew that she was older than him when she walked down the aisle because of the way she carried herself. And I thought that that was really like really telling about her and how and her maturity level, because he saw that from the jump.
Yeah, but also I give props to Miles because he cleaned that up real well. Because
yeah, because she was like, you thought I was older.
Like, so you thought I was old? All right, checkmate. I thought you was had on blue pants. How about that? So he cleaned that up real well because he went with
nice save, Miles.
Right, the way you carry yourself. Who want to talk about how her interaction with his parents because they had me dying because they was not on the same page about who Miles is as a person.
Oh yeah, Mom's mom. She was like, Miles is a mama's boy, and his dad started like, he's not your like stereotypical mom. He's like, yeah, he is. He called me twice a day. She's like, no.
He said, you better hang up the phone. Tell him go talk to his wife.
And his dad was also talking about his lack of like cleanliness, and then his mom's like, he knows how to do it, and his dad, oh no, that was his dad, but she was like, he'll be fine, and his dad like, he knows how to do it, he just doesn't always do it.
They really were not on the same page.
Well, I think if Miles is a mama's boy, Karen is mama's girl. So they're just gonna be both sucking at their mama titty when they got problems.
I don't think that neither one of them is like a mama's boy or mama's girl in the traditional sense because I feel like they both care about their parents, and I feel like Miles will take care of his mama, but it doesn't seem like Miles' mama runs his life. You see what I'm saying? Like it seemed like he takes care of her. In that sense, he's a mama's boy, but it don't seem like he gonna be like put her above his wife. And the second thing is the daddy was trying to save his life because Karen already was crying at the altar. So the daddy was really trying to save Miles' life. And the mama was like, no, bring him back. Like, I was like, bring him home. I'm going to tell you all the bad things that could possibly be bad about a man and bring my baby back to my house ASAPually. She was like, nope, he called me every day, twice a day. Nope, he don't like to clean. He not really that responsible. Nope,
So you feel like Miles' dad was saying this to protect Miles because Karen had a panic attack at the altar?
No, I think it was true. He was trying to talk about who Miles is as a person, whereas the mama was more. I feel like the dad was trying to sell Miles as a person. The mama was trying to protect Miles as a person.
Okay, but what you had said in the beginning, what you were talking about in the beginning about how you don't think he would let his mom be over his wife. all I gotta say is Miles drinks his respect women juice. Okay, he respect his mama and he gonna respect Karen.
He was also very respectful of Karen's mother. Like, we didn't talk about this last episode, but the way he like went up to her and like gave her a hug and was like, "I'm gonna take care of her. Like, she good." I thought that was very beautiful because we already saw the mom was like, "Hey, if you want to leave, I support you. I don't. I'm not really all the way in this, anyways." So him making sure the mom was comfortable was nice.
That's because Miss Kathy is fine.
All I gotta say is with Henry and Christina, if you can't have fun at a party that's paid for by somebody else, I don't see very many, uh, fun times in your future. Olivia,
They gonna be the couple at the honeymoon. Everyone else going skydiving or going zip lining, and they gonna be like, "No, we can sit by the pool, or we can be at the beach, or we're gonna stay home at the
right?
hotel."
And Henry's
They
family
gonna be
and
sitting at the
friends,
wall.
Henry's family and friends lied, talking about he a free spirit and he is great this and he loves to have fun. I was like, where?
But and Brett and Olivia, I'm sending Olivia all my thoughts and prayers. And the producers don't like her for some reason because they set her up for the okie doke with Brett. Poor thing. I'm praying. I really wish he would get some therapy. Um, Woody and Amani's second line out of that wedding, and I was like, "Can I too have an invitation to y'all next party? Because I would too like to hold an umbrella and second line out of somewhere." And or is that a parasol? Anyway, I
Didn't
would
they
like
all second line at the wedding? I mean, Woody and Amani seemed the most authentic New Orleans, but they all did it.
I don't know what everybody else was doing, but that wasn't it. Karen and Miles tried, but Woody and Amani the only ones who truly second line out of their wedding. Everybody else two steps. And no, Benny was getting it out his wedding too. I ain't go front. Benny be getting it.
I'm gonna just throw this out there because I missed the last couple episodes. Um, just my thoughts about the concept of the show. Personally, I'm not for it. I wouldn't do it, and that's just because I don't think when you're first meeting somebody, they should also be meeting your family within that same 24-hour period. That's just me personally. Also, because if something goes wrong, I don't need to hear what happened to so and so or where is your girlfriend, and I gotta play like I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, y'all don't need to know nothing.
So we're gonna end all of our episodes this way with just from the episode. What are our thoughts on everyone that's going to make it? Who's going to stay together? Who's going to get a divorce? So all those in favor of Amani and Woody staying together, raise your hand. Shady, why are you the hater? You are a hater. It's because Shadai don't like black women and Amani is chocolate, so he really hating. Okay.
Not the misogynoir spreading.
I'm gonna need you to not group me in with Shamar. Shamar is the known hater of black women, not me. Okay.
Shadai, but why are you anti Woody and Amani making it? We have all the signs, they'll be fine. They got supportive families. They families want them to win. Woody then Amani's dad's an adopted Woody, gave him a daddy because he ain't never had one. They just got all the beauty, black love, as Woody would say.
I don't know, like Woody made already it's like Woody's like already kinda not like getting on Amani's nerve. Like she stated like you're flirting too much. Like I'm not saying like doing that was like getting her nerves, but like you can always see like you can already see like Woody might be a little bit too much for Amani to handle.
I think they'll be fine. I think it's just like when you're not used to a man treating you like that, you're gonna feel like, okay, this is a little bit a lot. Like you doing a little bit of too much flirting, but I like it. So it's like she has to get more used to it.
It's better than Christina having to ask Henry, "You think I'm cute?"
That was hilarious. I should be said. So, do you think I'm pretty? Oh yeah. A mess.
A hot mess. So since we're talking about boring and boringer, we all in favor of them getting divorced? Raise your hand.
I mean, it means less airtime for them. I'm all the way with it. I do not want to see them. No. But when Woody and Monty came on after their little part of the show, I was like, thank God I don't want to see their odd reaction. I was like, goodness, let's just move on. And it was late at night. I was tired. So I was really about to fall asleep.
Christina and Henry give me very much crickets. Whew.
Okay, so moving on. All in favor of Bennett and Amelia staying together? Raise your hand. Okay, we have a consensus. Anonymous vote. Okay, all in favor of
Unanimous.
consensus. I said unanimous.
Anonymous?
You said anonymous. You said anonymous, sis.
Cut.
That intellect just be jumping out, huh, Shadai? That intellect.
Jumping out. I don't know how you be fooling Siobhan, but you ain't fooling me.
I thought I said unanimous. Oh, wow. Okay, so all in favor of Brett and Olivia getting a divorce? Shamar and Sharif are a little bit confused. What do you think?
Where you can go first?
Okay, they kind of deserve each other. So it's like, well, I don't want, like, I feel like they need to get divorced, but at the same time, I feel like they deserve each other. So I'm conflicted.
How
I
does
don't
Brett?
know if it's good. Like, I know Olivia, here, let me say it, because I feel like right now, I think that either A, if they don't get a divorce, then they kind of deserve each other. I feel like it's like, and I don't want this to be misconstrued, but I feel like sometimes you have to learn from some other person how how to like state your needs and how to like talk about how you need to be treated and how you want to be nurtured. And I think Olivia doesn't have that. And Brett, I feel like he is the type of person where he needs to kind of suffer a big loss, a big heartbreak, whatever you want to call it, in order for him to realize that he's on the wrong track. So while I don't think they're necessarily like marriage material, I think they're good for each other in the sense that I think they both have like a trait that the other person needs to adopt. And I feel like they're great candidates to learn that from.
Sharif is
If that
confused.
makes
Sharif
sense.
agrees with us. Anyway,
Sharif is thoroughly confused because Olivia does not deserve trash Brett. Shamar, what do you think?
I just feel like Brett is a creature of his environment, and he is the way he is because of what he's been through and what he's been around. And I feel like him being around a new environment with Olivia, her spirit and her energy is gonna rub off on him, and he'll be a better person because of it. And it's gonna allow their relationship to grow and become what we would expect it to be as a married couple.
I mean, I hope for that, but I don't know if I expect that.
Also, Brett has something to prove, so I think he's gonna do whatever it takes to make this work, just so he doesn't look like, you know, another, just so he doesn't have another failed experience for his family to make fun of him about. So he's gonna do this regardless of how he actually feels, just to prove a point to his family.
Okay, Shamar with the optimism. Okay. Who do we have? Who do we have left? Because I don't be remembering.
Karen and Miles.
Miles and Karen.
Okay, so
That's my favorite couple. If you haven't noticed,
all in favor of Karen and Miles staying together. Shamar, that was so fast. Raise your hand. So everyone raise their hand but Sharif. So why do you feel, Sharif, that Karen and Miles will not make it?
Because right now, again, I still, and it goes back to what I think Shadai said last time, where I just need a little bit more time with them. I feel like they still haven't really it's like they understand, but they haven't fully accepted this process for what it is yet. And until I feel like they have that like real aha moment, I can't really call it either way. Because
I think
Karen
hasn't. Miles
Karen looks like she's ready to run every other second. Like even when she's sometimes like, you know what, I like this guy, and I think this is gonna be great. But like every other like interaction looks like she's ready to run. So I feel like on that they might not make it because I don't think she's really ready for a person like Miles.
She has one foot out the door, and until she puts it back in, it's not gonna work. Though Miles is gonna try his hardest to cater to her, even at the expense of himself. He will try his harder to his hardest to cater to her, and
right.
Miles,
so I feel like
Karen into you gonna get yourself together and we gonna be together. And I feel like because of the fact that Woody and Amani are so connected just off of that and they're best friends, he's gonna put even more effort into making Karen happy because he don't want to be the best friend that failed.
You know
that
what?
is an
It just
interesting
dawned on
dynamic
me.
too.
It just dawned on me that I feel like Miles can bully Karen into loving him because I very much relate to that happening to my life.
Yep, you definitely bullied your husband into loving you.
The other
No,
way around.
loving him.
Or maybe he bullied. Actually, you know what? He
Yes,
bullied you into loving him.
Absolutely. I got tricked in the mirror, so don't play me.
But since you brought it up, I do think it's an interesting dynamic that Woody and Miles are best friends, already know each other, and are going through this process together. Because I do think that it will put because like there's always like a little bit of competition between the couples, feeling like oh well they're doing better than us, oh well they're doing worse. But I feel like that might be amplified considering that Woody and Miles are already friends, and so they'll feel like, oh, well, my relationship ain't working and his relationship working, so why is his relationship working when mine is, a mess?
But I also
exactly. And Miles is a make it work person. Sorry, Sabrina.
I
Go
was
ahead,
also
Sabrina.
saying that I think that Karen and Amani, because of the way Amani is, she might be able to help Karen open up a little bit because they'll be probably hanging out. They'll try to bring the couples together because they're Woody and Miles already gonna be hanging out. So they had the bachelorette party together. So Amani and her spirit might be able to bring Karen and be like, share her experiences of how she's been able to be open because they've both been hurt, but they're both approaching the situation completely different. Amani is more like Bennett, where I'm just gonna love freely with knowing that I could possibly be hurt. But Karen is like, I don't want to be hurt, so I'm going to have my guards up.
Yeah, I completely agree. Does anyone want to say anything about what Sabrina just said?
I do think that I also agree that maybe Imani will help Karen break out of her shell a little bit. Maybe that way it'll help her feel less alone too, because it's like, oh, here we're both in the same boat. We're both going through this process, and we can kind of lean on each other for support while we're still trying to figure out how to navigate this new relationship we're also entering with our new spouses. So I definitely do think that that'll help.
Yeah. Anything else? All right. Well, I'm super duper excited for next week. We're going to see the couples waking up together first day after the honeymoon. We're going to see how they're feeling about being newlyweds, newly married people, see if anyone has some sparks flying. And it'll be really entertaining to see. And thank you again for tuning in to our family channel. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your mama, your auntie, your cousin. And we'll see you again when we're discussing season 11, Married at First Sight, episode 4.
Don't forget to turn on the notification bell.
Hey, look at Tapanos
Ding!
with the point.
Click the notifications.
And also like it if Henry put you to sleep too.